I know I talk about goals and habits a lot, so I'm going to make this video to go more in depth than I normally do. I'm also going to be practicing my stream of conscious because normally with these videos, I completely script them out, or I'll have full sentences written out for me to just fill in the blanks between the points that I'm making. And I eventually want this to be more stream of conscious, plus it'll help me later. If you want to get anywhere with life, you need to have goals and you need to get after those goals. And along the way, you need to create these habits that help you achieve those goals that you want to get after. The only true purpose that you have in life is the one that you ultimately give yourself. You're not born with a specific purpose. You are ultimately giving yourself the purpose. You are finding the path that you want to achieve, the things that you want to be remembered for. A person that doesn't have any goals, any direction in their life is someone that has no meaning. So you have to have these goals and you have to chase after them. So the first thing is you need to sit down and think of your goals. You need to think of where you want to be years from now and all the things that you can do to get there. What are the short-term and the long-term goals that you need to accomplish? Where do you want to be 3 months from now? Where do you want to be 3 years from now? What are the things that you want to do to improve yourself right now? What are some things that you do now that you wish you didn't, or some habits that you wish you had? With this, what you can do is you can sit down with a notebook or a doc in front of you and just write down all of the things that you want and all the things that you wish you could improve yourself on, and all the things that you wish you could be doing. And don't hold back or be embarrassed or think that people will shame you, because this is only for you right now. Now, there's this important thing to know with habits in particular. It takes a good couple months for these habits to fully become reflexive and for you to fully condition yourself, have these habits. But it only takes 2 days to end a building habit. Actually breaking a habit that's set in place takes as much time as it takes to build a new habit. But while you're building or while you're breaking a habit, it simply takes 2 days to end it. And that's what is the downfall of many people. Have you ever tried to, for my guys out there, stop jacking off and it goes well for a little while and then just 2 days and then you're right back into it? Or maybe you're trying to read a page a day from a book and then you don't do it for 2 days in a row, and that's the ultimate killer right there. So no matter what, if you forget one day, hop right back into it the second day. And if you forget it the second day, hop right back into it the third day, because it's only going to get worse if you keep on missing days. So now you have this big mess of goals. Now you have to go through them and organize them on what you're actually going to work towards and how you're going to achieve it. You have to understand that there's only so much that you can do. Sure, if things go amazingly, then later down the road, once you finish everything you have set right now, then you can add on more. But for right now, we're going to focus on some very specific things, maybe 3 big long-term goals. And you want these short-term and medium-term goals to be things to improve you to get to that final point. So if I'm trying to be a firefighter, why am I going to EMT school? Your goals work the same way. If you're trying to accomplish something long-term, your short-term and medium-term goals need to match up to it. And you're going to have to actively work towards your goal and repeatedly do these things every day. They're not going to necessarily get easier to keep working every single day. In the beginning, your biggest priority is to make sure that you're actually doing it. So to do that, you need to eliminate all things that could hold you back from actually doing what you need to do. So if you were that you're going to forget something, write it down on a sticky note, put it on a mirror, maybe have a pin notes on your iPhone home screen as a widget so that you can never forget it. If you're worried that you're not going to have time to do what you need to do, then make sure that you set aside specific time every day or every week so you can always have that time available to work towards it. You need to just, anything that could stop you from doing what you need to do, any excuse that you can come up with that you might use down the road or that you've used in the past. You need to come up with a way to prevent that from happening now. Once you get past that initial period that probably takes a good few weeks, that's when you'll start to more remember that you have to do these things. You're not going to magically forget them or not have the time. But this is where we start to do those little mess ups that really start to demotivate us. Maybe we didn't do something for one day and now we have a ton of build up. We have to do yesterday and today's work. And now you have to pay the consequences for it. Maybe you're making videos and you say something that the next day you don't entirely agree with anymore. That certainly happened with me. We have these little hiccups and we have these little mistakes. Now, when we have these major mess ups, you can't beat yourself up. You have to hold yourself accountable like an actual mature person. If we're beating ourselves up, we're not being mature about this at all. You need to understand why it was a mess up and what led to that mess up. What was the scenario where that mess up was allowed or encouraged to happen? What was that environment that made that happen? Once you understand why you messed up, then you can better prevent that from happening again and you can better improve yourself. You can adapt what you're doing to make that not happen again. Now, if you really want these goals, they should be on the back of your mind always. You should always be thinking about them. You should always be working towards them. You should always be doing things that work in favor and not against what your goals are. Now, sure, you don't always have to be working towards a goal. You're allowed to take breaks and have fun. But even while you're having fun, you should still have on the back of my mind, once I'm done with this is what I need to work on. This is where I want to be. So my swim coach had a conversation with us recently because we were going into our taper. With swimming, the way that things work is you spend these months going super hard on these sets that really build up your strength and power and speed. And then 3-ish weeks, 4 weeks before you have a real big meet, you go on this taper where you don't push yourself as hard and you're more so focused on making sure that you're at the top of your performance so that you can go as fast as you can at these meets. During this talk, he talked about what he called our personal banks. Now, these banks, he made a sheet where he thought everyone was with their bank. And the way that you had your bank full was by putting in all that hard effort, putting in that hard work over the course of those months and years. And I think that that's something that can really be applied for achieving any of your goals, not just for me for swimming, but that's something that you can kind of use in the back of your mind to think, how much do I have in the bank? How much work have I put in over these days, weeks, months, years to get to where I want to be? Because you want your bank to be full, but if you're slacking here and there, then it's not going to be as full as it could be. That's basically it. Thanks for tuning in. If you have a topic you would like for me to discuss or a question you'd like me to answer, leave it in the form below. If you think I said something bad in one of my other videos, feel free to harass me in the comments. Today is day 3 of the Thanksgiving special. I will see you all tomorrow morning.